What is up, my spoonflowers and spoonshines? Welcome, welcome, welcome back. If you're here right now, that means that you have scooped your way into my favorite little corner of the internet. So grab your tea, your Gatorade, your broth, or whatever your spoons will allow you today, and let's get into it. I'm Sunny D, RN, BSN, 20-year spoonie who's pretty much seen it all. And baby, this is Spoon Space. All right, y'all. If you've been here with me since episode 1, season 2, first of all, thank you. That's number 1. Number 2, we got to do a quick little vibe check, okay? Those first 3 episodes were pretty heavy, pretty raw, and quite frankly, a little traumatic for me. So storytelling was really the best way for me to get that out. But the truth is, in real life, y'all, I am not really that calm, cool, and collected. I'm wild, I'm fun, some may even say a little unhinged. And with that being said, I want this space to feel cool, calm, collected, but I also want it to feel fun and chaotic and inclusive. And I say that because this is not just mine. This space is our space. So from here on out, we're going to be switching it up a little bit. Still raw and real, and still a little bit of storytelling here and there, especially if you want to send your story in anonymously. But mostly it's just going to be more conversations, more laughs, more education, more sass, and definitely more spoons. So go ahead and scoop in, because today we are going to be talking about relationships and chronic illness. So when I first started getting sick, I had no idea how it was going to mess with my relationships and my friendships. At 14 to 15, this time I was still dancing and singing and going to school and going to work without worrying about too much fallout, because I had gotten used to the rigmarole of the daily Crohn's. But Crohn's is actually a progressive disease. So the things that I could do back then is totally different from what I can do now. These days, I have to budget my spoon like it was rent money, girl. If I spend way too much, I'm definitely overdrafting my body. And if it isn't worth the swipe, the card is immediately declined when it comes to my spoons. No apologies needed. But listen, that's also really a skill. And it didn't come easy at all. It took me years to learn how to say no without spiraling. But that actually brings us to the next era. That guilt era. Have you ever canceled on a friend after you'd said yes to them and y'all had made these plans way in advance? Yeah, you know that feeling. That flaking feeling. I used to hate flaking, y'all, like down to my core. If I had told you yes, but then my body had said no, I would literally be sitting there with my phone in my hand trying to draft the world's longest apology text, trying to explain my symptoms, every ounce of fatigue, and basically writing you my medical chart just to prove that I wasn't lying. Whole time, my body was literally shutting down, and I'm over here stressing about whether or not my friends think that I'm lazy. Listen, you have got to let that go. It really wasn't about until 5 or 6 years ago that things kind of shifted for me. That's when my current crew kind of formulated, and they taught me one of the most freeing lessons of my life. When you are out of spoons, you are completely out. And that's just period. It's not, oh, I'm out of spoons, but let me explain. You're just out. And the right people, girl, they don't need a whole essay about that. They don't make you feel like you've let them down. They just get it. And if they don't, well, I'm going to make sure you know how to spot the real from the fake. Because here's the truth. People will show you who they are real quick when you start living with a chronic illness. Now, the real ones, that's easy. So easy to spot. They don't just say, let me know if you need help with anything. They actually show up. I'm talking checking on you without making it awkward, knocking on your door when you've been quiet for a little bit too long, dropping off food, or even just sitting with you in silence when you're in your post-surgery sweatpants, moo haze. And then there are those other ones, the ones that say stuff like, well, didn't you sleep all day already? Or it can't be that serious. Let me tell you something. And let me also say it extremely slow for the people up in the bike. Being sleepy is not the same as being fatigued. Sleepy is, a nap can take care of this. But fatigue is like my bones feel like they're made of cement and no amount of sleep is going to fix this. Once I understood that difference, y'all, it just made it so much easier to release the wrong people. Because if you can't respect that reality, then honestly, you're not someone that I need to spend my spoons on. Speaking of people that you want to spend your spoons on, you also have to figure out when and when not to share your diagnosis. For the longest time, I pretty much led with it. Like my intro was, hey, I'm Sunny D and I have Crohn's disease. If you can't find me, it's probably because I'm in the bathroom. Because that's like my icebreaker. But I'm going to be real with you. That was not me speaking through confidence. That was just pure anxiety. It was me trying to beat you to the punch of the awkwardness, of the elephant in the room. If I tell you first, then you can't expose me. But these days, y'all, I don't feel the need to lead with it. If I'm having a rough week or I'm in the middle of a flare, then yeah, of course, I'll give my people a heads up. But I don't walk around passing out my medical chart to every new person I meet. It is about balance. It's about protecting your peace without feeling like you have to hide. But speaking of balance, this feels like the perfect time for our very first mini spoon break. Welcome to your mid-episode mini spoon break. It's pretty much where I give you a quick little scoop or a nugget of info that's tucked inside of the episode. It's a fun fact, a poll, or just a little bit of spoony wisdom. Think of it as a mid-episode refill. Small spoon, but a big impact. So today's mini spoon, y'all, is a question. And the question is, why might someone with Crohn's or colitis cancel plans at the last minute? Your options are A, it's because fatigue hit like a freight train. B, because symptoms can change every 5 minutes. Or C, because you chose health over the event. The answer, as I'm sure you all have guessed from this episode, is all of the above every single time. So the next time that your spoony fin flakes, just know that they didn't choose Netflix over you. They chose survival. And that's what you want your friends to do. Let's get back into it, but lighten it up for a little second. Because listen, Solange from those earlier episodes, girl, when I say she was a talker, she was a talker. She was loud, proud. Baby girl had no boundaries. And of course, she always picked the quietest moments to make her grand entrance. So yeah, my bag has definitely leaked before, more than once. And was it awkward? Oh, girl, absolutely. Did I feel embarrassed? A little. But honestly, the embarrassment wasn't really for me. I definitely felt bad for whoever else got caught in the, splash zone? But you know what? Now I just laugh about it because the people who love me, they love all of me. Even the parts that ache, that squish, that gurgle, or that talk at the worst possible times. And that for me is always gonna be golden. One of those beautiful sayings that I learned in my trip to Costa Rica was that you cannot pour from an empty cup, only from the overflow. And listen, in spoon space terms, that means that you cannot give spoons that you do not have, period. So now I just really make sure that I refill mine first. Rest, joy, food, quiet time, music, whatever it's going to take. That way, when my friends and my family need me or we've made plans, it doesn't feel like I'm giving from my last spoon in the drawer. It instead feels like I'm giving from the overflow. That shift is going to change everything for you because instead of feeling drained and resentful and not actually enjoying the event, you feel like you have something to give. And your best people get the best version of you and not the scraps. Now, for anyone who's listening who loves a spoonie, let me give you the number one rule. Very easy, very simple, and it's only 2 words. Believe them. You might never fully understand their pain or their fatigue, and that's always going to be okay because respect goes further than understanding. And if you've got the capacity, only if you have the capacity, try to anticipate their needs because that exhaustion of even having to explain what you need can cost spoons too. And sometimes the biggest gift is a friend who just says, I got it. No questions, just support. And that is how you love somebody through a chronic illness. But before we end up wrapping this episode up, I've always got to give Mama Bear her flowers. This woman used to literally peel me out of bed before school, help me get dressed, and say, "You have to go, but if you don't feel better, I'll always come and pick you up." Most of those days, I always pushed through it because sometimes the hardest part is just starting. But knowing that she had my back if I couldn't finish, oh, man, that was everything. And that kind of support, whether it's from a parent or a partner or a friend, that's what makes this whole Spoonie life survivable. So yeah, friendships shift. Some people leave, but the real ones always stay. And the trick is learning not to waste your spoons on people who cannot respect that. And if you take nothing else from today, remember this: protect your spoons, love your people, and keep your circle full of those who will continue to refill you too. And that, my loves, that's the scoop for today. New episodes drop every Wednesday, so please make sure that you're subscribed. If you want to connect, follow me on Instagram at The Spoon Space, subscribe on YouTube at Spoon Space, or feel free to send your questions, concerns, comments, and stories to spoonspaceconnect@gmail.com. I'm Sunny D, RNBSN, 20-year Spoonie, and this has been Spoon Space. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.